Hello everybody, this is me, and I'm in my room, and I'm going to be extending my three-part segment of why I don't want to have kids into four. I'm looking quite different since then, and I also have no makeup on, which can be kind of frightening at times, so, oh well, I'm very busy. Um, but I just want to address some concerns that have arose since I've done the videos, and also an extended part segment or whatever about why I don't want to have kids, along with the other reasons that I previously stated. So some of the concerns were, there was one person who told me that population and overpopulation was not an issue. I don't know how to respond to that because evidence, just it suggests otherwise. I mean, overpopulation's a thing. I'm sorry to burst your little reality bubble, which is backwards. And I do go over, I think overpopulation is a thing. Obviously, me deciding not to have a kid is not going to make a dent in the fact that that overpopulation is a thing, but you know what? It helps in its own little way. Um, Another thing that people keep bringing up is that I'm going to change my mind. And there's a lot of things wrong with this because that assumes that you know my future. And even I claim to not know my future. Like, I might change my mind. I definitely might. But so many people are adamant that I will change my mind, and that's the thing that I have an issue with because, choosing not to have kids is not that unpopular. It's actually gaining more popularity, especially now since, kids are costing people a lot of money to have, to put it simply, and, many other reasons. Traveling is a huge thing, and, lots of people want more freedom, and kids definitely puts a damper on a lot of those freedoms. So, it's pretty popular to not have kids. And also, a lot of people by my age, I know I'm still young. I claim it all the time. I'm a baby. I am super young. And, but most people by my age, they already know if they want kids or not. Like, I'm working on my future. This is my college life, and I am working towards a certain life that I want. And so by this age, most people, especially women, know whether or not they want kids in their future. Because what people don't get about women is that we have a shorter window in which we can have kids. So we're constantly thinking about whether or not we can incorporate children into our lives. So, yeah, a lot of people already know by now whether or not they think they might be able to have kids in their lives. Of course, this changes and gets evaluated and reevaluated as time passes. But I definitely have a specific view in mind for what I want for my future, and it does not include kids, and I'll get into that a bit later. Right now, I'm still covering the concerns. And also this other person's argument, which is ridiculous, was basically saying me being selfish is not a good enough reason to not have kids. Now, here's the problem with that argument, and it's quite simple. When I encourage people to be selfish, I mean be selfish because I see too many people sacrificing their happiness to make others happy or to do whatever, and I'm the kind of person that wants to encourage people, if you're unhappy, put yourself first. Be selfish. Like, it's okay to be selfish at times. I have one exception. I have one exception to being selfish. Actually, technically two. If you're hurting another person, don't be selfish. But the number one reason you can't be selfish is if you have kids. I'm sorry, but having kids is the most selfless thing you can do. It doesn't matter if you're tired, it doesn't matter if you're sick, it doesn't matter if you're, unhappy even. You being a parent doesn't change. You can't be selfish in those situations. Like, you have a being that is completely and wholly dependent on you, and those factors, like being unhappy, being tired, You can't be selfish. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to take the day off for my child because I'm tired. You can't just not feed your kid and totally neglect it for even, you know, half a day because it's so dependent on you. So how is me being selfish not a good reason to have or not have kids? I'm sorry, but that's a pretty damn good reason. Me being selfish is a hell of a good reason for me not to want to have kids. I basically said that I'm going to be a bad mother, yet you want me to have kids. Who's being reasonable here? Because I'm actually thinking about who, me? Yeah, I'm thinking about me, but who else am I thinking about? I'm actually thinking about the kid too. So you're saying, oh, you know, you being a bad mother isn't a good enough reason for you not to be a mother. I don't think it works that way, honey. Me being selfish is a good reason to not have kids. To put it simply. To put it very simply. And I just thought it was funny because this person's like so adamant about my reasoning for not wanting to have kids being stupid when I think it's actually pretty valid. And also, you know, they also think me wanting to be catered to is wrong. I'm sorry, you don't have to be catered to when you're pregnant, but if I'm going to be pregnant, I'm going to be fucking catered to. That's what I want. And you may think it's stupid, you may think it's selfish, you may think it's like ridiculous. Doesn't matter because I'm the one trying to live my life and I'm gonna live it the way I want to. So yeah, I think, you know, superficial and trivial reasoning like me wanting to be catered to while pregnant, that's good enough of a reason for me. It doesn't have to be for you, but it is for me. So I don't know what's so hard about the concept that other people are going to want different lives than you do, and the way you live your life and the way you view the world is going to be different from other people's views. Is that hard? I think it's pretty simple. So anyways, it's just funny because they also said, like, well, you should have other reasons for not, like, they insulted my intelligence, and they were like, you should have other reasons for not wanting to have kids other than the fact that you're selfish, and I'm like, the video clearly says part 2. The title. And that's always been the title. The title always has said part 2. And they mention, like, I should mention stuff like overpopulation, and first of all, it says part 2, like I mentioned. Second of all, I did mention overpopulation, and I did mention other reasons, but my IQ's off, obviously, from your perspective, not yours, because you've obviously missed something as simple as a title, and you've obviously missed the other 2 videos that list other reasons for why I don't want to have kids. So, yeah. But anyways, let me continue and go off on some other reasons that I didn't list as to why I don't want to have kids. And the big one is actually my future that I'm considering, because I do want to live a life of learning. I want to be a college professor, and I'm going to dedicate my life to school. And I think even when I do accomplish the goals that I have for my profession, I'm going to continue going to school, or I'm going to at least travel and learn that way, and just dedicate my life to study. And even when I'm in school and I'm like teaching on the college level, even when I'm doing that, I'm going to be constantly learning. And I really don't want to be the person who comes home and looks at my child and is like, you know what, you need to go be quiet and go upstairs because I'm going to be working. I don't want to be that parent. And obviously, you know, there are times where I can't, like, you know, for the first big chunk of their life, you know, I can't just tell them that they can be quiet. They don't function that way. They're too young. So I can't see them in my life. I can't see them with my life unless I have an extraordinary amount of help, which, you know, I don't want, like, I really just want to come home to like an empty house. Like, I don't even want to get married. Um, so I don't want help in my house. I don't want a child in my house. I don't want a freaking husband in my house or wife. I mean, I identify as straight, but I'm also very ambiguous when it comes to love. So, I just don't want anyone in my house. So, anyways, that's that. Um, and so I'm going to be traveling a lot. I don't need the hassles of having another person to cater to. So, yeah, I'm going to be too busy for a kid, basically. And, you know, that's not really just thinking about myself. That's thinking about the kid, too. Um, because I don't want, if I do have a kid, I would want to be actively participating in their life. And the life that I want just doesn't have time for that. And so it's just not going to work out for at least the goals that I have right now. So that's another reason why I don't want to have kids. There's a multitude of reasons why I don't want to have kids. So that's that. And I'm going to let you guys go and have fun in the comments down below. So thank you for your time. Bye.